So for this family favorite meatloaf, I'm going to be making a poultry meatloaf, and this will consist of a combination of ground turkey and ground chicken. We'll also need some eggs, milk, Sammy Wong's Kitchen all-purpose seasoning, liquid smoke, bulgur wheat, onion, shredded carrots, grated cheddar cheese, and some Worcestershire sauce. In addition to that, for the sauce, what we're going to be using is some ketchup, some brown sugar, and some prepared mustard. So let's get started. Now, I don't like getting the shredded cheese in the bags because they end up using some powder there that allows it to not stick together. So I prefer doing my own shredding of the cheese as well as the carrots. What I wanted to do is show you how this recipe does not use bread, but instead uses a whole grain, which is the bulgur wheat. The thing with the bulgur wheat is that you really need to kind of soak it. First, what we're going to do, before we even grate the cheese and the carrots, I'm going to put my milk in a bowl, and before I do anything, I'm going to allow my bulgur wheat to soak up the milk. Okay, so I'm going to just set that aside before I start grating. And if you have a food processor, it is very easy. I use organic carrots, so I don't really need to remove the skin. I just cut off the edges. And then I'm going to put my cheese in the larger tube and just shred the cheese with the carrots. And that's how quickly it takes to shred. So now that I've done both of this, I'm going to add my turkey and my chicken, grated carrots, grated cheese. Going to add my onion, 2 eggs, my Sammy Wong's all-purpose seasoning. Just a kitchen tip when measuring your ingredients, measure the dry ingredients before you measure your wet ingredients so that you don't have to wash and dry your spoons or your cups. 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke, Worcestershire sauce, and now all you need to do is mix everything together. Now, the nice thing about this particular recipe is that you can prepare it way ahead of time and just allow it to sit, because as it sits in the refrigerator, what happens is that the bulgur wheat softens and absorbs all this moisture, making it a nice moist meatloaf rather than a dry meatloaf. So now that everything's well mixed, I'm going to put it into my meatloaf pan. And the great thing about this meatloaf pan is that it has an insert that has these drain holes. And if there's excess fat, it'll just drain out of this meatloaf. So you're not going to have a meatloaf that's drenched in fat. So all I'm going to do is place it into my meatloaf pan. And this is going to rest for at least an hour before I bake it. And the reason it's going to rest for an hour is because I want the bulgur wheat to absorb as much of the liquid as possible. It makes your meatloaf moist. Take my meatloaf and spread it on the loaf pan. And then I'm going to cover this and put it in the refrigerator and let it sit for an hour before baking. Now for the sauce, all we need is our ketchup, brown sugar, and prepared mustard. So all you need to do is mix this up and allow this to sit for a while, while the meat is resting and baking, so that the brown sugar can actually absorb into the ketchup and mustard. After 45 minutes, I took this out of the oven and I'm going to spread a layer of the sauce on the top. And you can save some or make additional sauce if people really like this on the actual meatloaf once it's served. But this serves as the so-called barbecue sauce. So you just want to cover it a little bit and allow the sauce to permeate the meat. And if they want additional sauce, they'll have some here. And it's going to go back into the oven. So this is the turkey chicken meatloaf. And I'm going to take a slice out. You can see it's really juicy because the bulgur wheat has soaked up all the liquid. So here it is, and I'm gonna add some veggies. I have a medley of asparagus, broccoli, and carrots. And here you have it. More recipes can be found on sammywongsKitchen.com or social media. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks!